All right, now we're doing 7Q band name generator. This is by JC66 and 92% of people like it. So JC66's friend wants a new band name for her band. She likes bands that use the formula the plus a noun with the first letter capitalized. For example, if we use dolphin, it'll be the dolphin. All right. However, when a noun starts and ends with the same letter, she likes to repeat the noun twice and connect them together with the first and last letter, combined into one word without the in front, like this. Alaska would be Alaska. All right? We're going to complete the function that takes a noun as a string and returns her preferred band name written as a string. Okay. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to check if the first and last letter are the same, and then we're going to do something if it is. So we're going to take this test and put this one to the side right now, and we're going to use this test because it's got the first and last letter going on. So we're going to say if str at 0 equals str at str.length minus 1. So if they're the same, what we're going to do is we're going to say something like this. Let's do a console.log first. Console.log. All right. Let's say str just to start with. Test it out. All right. So we got tart. So what we want to do first is we want to take this T and turn it into capital T. So we're going to say str at 0, and then we're going to say dot toUpperCase. All right. If you're unfamiliar with the toUpperCase method or need a refresher, we've got it right here. And the toUpperCase method returns the calling string value converted to uppercase. All right. The value will be converted to a string if it isn't already. All right, cool. So what we're going to do here is test this out. We've got let's look at this. We've got this right now. Test it out. Capital T. Okay, so now we've got a capital T. Now we got to add ART to the end of it. So we're going to say plus, since we're dealing with strings, we're going to say plus str, but this time we're going to say dot slice. And let me show you what the slice method is, if you don't know what it is, or if you need a refresher. The slice method extracts a section of a string and returns it as a new string without modifying the original string. So you see right here, it's got like something like str. This is the string right here, dot slice 31, and it's going to take the lazy dog, everything from the lazy dog. But if we just do one like this, look at this right here, run it, he quick, so it takes the first letter off. And so that's what we need to do since we've got a capital T and we need the art now. So we're going to say dot slice from 1. All right. And since you can see here art and art are the same thing, we'll just take from here to here, practice our cut and paste skills, and then we'll just repeat it. All right. Let's test it. And look, this and this, same thing. All right. So we've got one part done. So we'll come over here and we'll say return this. All right. So now let's come back down here and let's deal with it when it isn't the same first and last letter. So down here we'll say console.log, and we'll do the str again, test it out, and now it's knife. All right. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to add the in front of it, and then we're going to do this, take this and make it capitalized, and then we're going to add the rest of this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to say, instead of str, we're going to say this right here. We're going to say the space, and then we're going to say plus, and we'll just take this right here and put it down here. All right, let's test that out. The knife looks good. Let's get rid of this console.log All right. Test it out one more time. Oh, no. Hold on. Return. Now test it out. All right, looks good. And attempt it. And just like that, we're one kata closer to being even better. No, we are even better at JavaScript. But the thing is, as great as this is, we can do it a little bit more concisely using some little techniques. Let's do a /* control end // and then let's come to the top with a control home, and let's say something like this: const band name generator equals, and instead of str, let's just put s right here and then have an arrow like this. So first things first, we're pretty much going to use the same thing, but we're going to do something instead of the if. We're going to use something instead of this if statement right here, and we're going to use the conditional operator instead. And the conditional or ternary operator is the only JavaScript operator that takes 3 operands: a condition followed by a question mark, then an expression to execute if the condition is truthy followed by a colon, and finally the expression to execute if the condition is falsy. And this operator is frequently used as an alternative to an if-else statement. So for this, instead of this, we'll just do something like this. We'll say this here, all right? We'll say question mark. We'll come down here and say, if that's the case, we want to do this. Copy it, paste it, and if not, we'll do this right here. All right, let's turn all these STRs into S's. A little bit more work. We could have just turned this into STR, but I want to change this because that's what I would do if I was just typing it straight. So let's test it. And it works. Let's bring this up here. No, we don't need to do any of that. Let's bring this back and this back, because basically there's another way to do this. Like, you see this being checked. We know that the ternary operator works now. But let's do another way to check it, actually, using this regex.prototype.test method, which executes a search for a match between a regular expression and a specified string, all right? We're going to have to use some regex on this, but let's get this out of the way right now real quick. Let's just bring this up here, like this. Bring this back, all right? And let's do a console.log right here. So console.log. All right. And we're going to make some regex. If you're unfamiliar with regex, it's basically just a pattern used to match character combinations in strings. They get kind of complex, though, and they use real funky syntax. But we're going to do it anyway. So first things first, what we want to do is match something in S. Let's go to S. Let's do a console.log S right now. Okay, so we've got knife. Let's do tart again. Let's get this out of the way. Test it. All right, so we've got the tart. And like we know, but like we were doing down here, what we're going to do is see if this and this equal each other. So basically what we want to do is target this first with the regex. So we're going to come over here and we're going to say something like this. Okay? And the first thing we're going to do is target the front of it using this caret, not that caret, this caret. All right? And that caret is an assertion over here. Let's come down here. When you have a caret at the beginning of the input, it matches the beginning of the input. So basically it's saying whatever this is, that's what we're going to match. So now what we're going to do is have some parentheses like this. And parentheses right here, they're part of the groups and back references. When you put something in parentheses, it matches X and remembers the match. So it'll match whatever we put in there. So what we're going to put in there is something like this, \W. Unless that's /. I think that's \W. So we come over here to the character classes, and if we look at something like this, \w, it matches any alphanumeric character from the basic Latin alphabet, including the underscore, okay? So we put that in there. So now this is matching any letter at the beginning like this and remembering it for later, okay? Now we've got to deal with this part. So what we're going to do here is we've also got another character class. Let's come over here to the character classes. We've got this period right here, which matches any single character. We can use these two are interchangeable right here for the most part. In this one it is definitely, because any character or just the letter, all right? And we just use this one if we don't want to match like digits or something like that. But we could just do something like this, period. But we want to match any, because if we just do one period, it's just going to match one thing. So we want to match 1, 0, or more of these. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use a quantifier. We're going to come down here to this star, which matches the preceding item X 0 or more times. Okay? So we're going to come down here and we're going to say star. All right? And now we're going to deal with the end of it. Now we also want to deal with this, but we want it to be exactly like this. So let's come back over here to the groups. We're going to use this \n, where n is a positive integer. The back reference, it's also a back reference to the last substring matching the in parenthetical in the regular expression, counting left parentheses. For example, right here, apple, and then the group capture with a colon, with a comma, and then they're doing a space right here with this S, and then they're doing matching orange, and then they're using this right here, which matches another comma. This is just a way so you don't have to repeat yourself, all right? And it matches this and this in this string, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So we're gonna come back here, and we're gonna say \1. This is the 1 means the first parentheses. If there was like 3 or 4 or 5 of these, and we would said 3, it would get the third one. If it said 5, it would count 5 of these and take the 5th one. All right. So let's do this. We've got this. We got this, and now we've got this, and we need to match it at the end, like with the beginning. So we're going to use the assertion again, this $, which matches the end of the input. All right. And so we say $, like this. Okay. So basically this regex is 3 different parts. This first part, this is matching any letter at the beginning. All right. This middle part, this matches any character in the middle, okay, until it gets to the end. And this last one specifically needs to be exactly like the first one. Okay, that's what this is. The last one needs to be exactly like the first one. So let's say .test, and let's test that on S. Okay, let's test it. Remember, we've got tart here. Test it here, and it gives us a true. So just like if this is true, do this. This is also true. Now let's come back here and let's put knife back up. Test that out. False, because it's not the same first and last letter. So here's some regex to tell us that. All right, so now if that's the case, let's just add pretty much all of this to it. Copy it, paste it, test that out, the knife, and then also let's get this one out of here. Whoops, what did I do? Let's do this one. Let's get the knife out of there, and let's test it out. And it did tart art. All right, and so that's cool, but the thing is, it's pretty stale to do the same thing twice. On this one, we can do something different. We can use template literals, you know, because it's a string with an actual, it's mixing a string with methods. So we can use something like this. We can use a template literal, which are literals delimited with backtick characters, these things right here, allowing for string interpolation with embedded expression, and two other things that I've never done before. So basically we're going to do something like this. We're going to have the backtick characters, which is to the left of the 1 and right above the tab key. And we're using those instead of quotes. And then we'll have the string text. This will specifically be the. And then we'll have this right here. This is our embedded expression. You see a $ and some curly braces. And then we're going to put the method in there. So let me show you. So instead of this, let's just take this, since we got it plenty of other places. Let's take this, get this out of here, put the backtick characters up. You see that right there, right to the left of the 1, right above the tab key. Now we've got this. Let's put the in there, the space. And now we want to do this right here. Okay? So we're going to start with an embedded expression. We're going to say $, curly braces, and we're going to have something in there, and then we're going to do another $, and curly braces right up next to it in there. So the first one, we're going to put this, copy that, paste this in there, and then the second one we're going to do this. And we don't have to add the plus sign because these two are right next to each other. This is a literal string. It's a literal template literal. It's literally, here's the string, and then this is the next thing. So let's test that out, see what that looks like. Tart art, just like that. And let's put knife back up there, see if it works. And it does, and so that's another method. Let's get this out of here. Looks terrible, but whatever. Let's bring this back. Space that. Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but whatever. No big deal. Let's test it out. Make sure it works. It does. And attempt it. There we go, and submit it. All right, so there's 3 different ways. This one's saying if this one is not equal to this one, just to pretty much reverse the order we were in, but does the exact same thing we did. This one's using template literals for both of them. I honestly think that the template literals for the top one is excessive, because we could, instead of all these little embedded expressions, we could have just used plus signs and spaces. I think the template literals are only really good for when it's actually a mix of string and method, but that's just my opinion. Come down here, and they did pretty much another way we did it. And you can just check out all the rest of them if you feel like it. Let's go over to mine. Just me on this one. Best practice in my opinion. Very much like it. And we'll see you next time.